Have you ever looked around and wondered how someone from a completely ordinary, totally normal background suddenly manages to become a millionaire? I mean, how do they reach the absolute heights of success? We're talking about getting into the IITs or the IAS, or building these massive, incredibly successful businesses. Well, welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to unpack the source material and figure out exactly why some people literally skyrocket to the top, while others just grind their whole lives and stay stuck. Okay, let's dive into this, because it's incredibly frustrating, isn't it? You put in the hours, you sweat, you grind day in and day out, but you just don't see those explosive results. So where is the difference? Like, what is the secret sauce here? Well, let's crack the code and look at the actual behavioral patterns that completely separate the absolute best from the rest of the pack.
Section 1. The Power of Consistency. Shattering the Talent Myth.
You know, we so often assume highly successful people are just born special, right? Like they have some magic gene. But actually, their biggest strength is entirely behavioral. Just think about the ordinary mindset for a second. It's all about waiting for motivation. It's waiting for the right mood, the perfect weather, or this sudden magical burst of inspiration to finally start doing the work. But the successful mindset? Oh, it's completely different. It's working with strict, unwavering discipline. They absolutely do not wait to feel good. They just execute, day in and day out, completely regardless of their emotional state. And that's because, ultimately, small steps fulfill big dreams. Monumental success is almost never this massive, overnight leap. It's really just the compounding, sometimes entirely unglamorous result of taking tiny, seemingly insignificant actions every single day. It's kind of like a giant puzzle. They just focus on placing one boring piece at a time until they've completely built an empire.
Section 2. The True Value of Time, the Ultimate Equalizer.
And this brilliantly illustrates a huge point, because whether you are a struggling student or a literal billionaire CEO, everyone gets the exact same 24 hours a day. The absolute defining factor is how you use them. On one hand, you have your average person wasting hours on social media apps, just endlessly scrolling through cheap entertainment. But on the other hand, successful people fiercely protect those exact same hours. They are continually upgrading their skills, learning, reading, and really investing heavily in their own personal growth.
Time is more valuable than money. Just let that sink in for a second. Think about it. If you lose money, well, you can always earn it back, right? There's always another opportunity to make a dollar or launch a new product. But a wasted hour? Wow, that is gone forever. Guarding your time like a hawk is absolutely the foundational habit for building lasting wealth.
Moving on to Section 3. Learning from failure, redefining setbacks.
Now, it's a super common misconception that highly successful people just never fail. But the actual truth? They absolutely face defeat. And honestly, probably way more often than the rest of us do. But here's the kicker. They do not make failure their identity. When an ordinary person fails, they tend to internalize the whole thing and say, I am a failure. But when a highly successful person fails, they simply say, okay, I experienced a failure. They completely strip away all that fear and stigma, and they use every single mistake as a vital data point to bounce back significantly better.
Section 4. 1% better every day, the compounding effect.
So, the crucial point is this, 1%. This is perhaps the most actionable takeaway of this entire explainer, guys. 1%. You literally don't have to change your entire life in 24 hours. Committing to just a tiny 1% improvement daily might feel totally invisible in the moment. I mean, you definitely won't notice it on day 2. But over the course of a whole year, that compounding growth is mathematically certain, and it will completely transform your entire trajectory.
So how do you actually achieve that 1% growth? Well, the source material breaks it down into 4 daily steps. First, it starts with feeding your mind by reading books. Second, constantly learning new skills so you can adapt to a shifting world. Third, it requires spending time with good people, surrounding yourself with company who naturally elevate your standards. And finally, fourth, dedicating time to work on your goals daily to keep that absolutely crucial momentum alive and kicking.
And finally, Section 5. Your next step from knowing to doing.
The mystery of what successful people actually do differently is pretty much solved now, which completely shifts the focus and places the responsibility directly onto you. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one defining challenge. Are you ready to adopt their habits today? Not tomorrow, definitely not next week, but right now. Go ahead and take that very first 1% step.